We live in remarkable times. Not long ago, artificial intelligence sounded like something from a science fiction movie. Today, it helps diagnose disease, answer questions, create art, and process information faster than any human ever could. Some people are excited, some are concerned, and many are simply trying to understand what it all means. As someone who spends time at the intersection of healthcare, technology, and faith, I found myself asking a simple question: what does God think about all of this? The Bible never mentions artificial intelligence, but perhaps it tells us something even more important. Perhaps it teaches us how to live wisely in every age, including this one. Before there were inventions, there was wisdom. Before there were hospitals, universities, laboratories, or software companies, there was wisdom. The Bible presents wisdom not as something humanity discovered, but as something that originated with God Himself. That thought humbles me. Every breakthrough we celebrate, every technology we build, every solution we discover is possible because we are exploring a universe already designed with order, beauty, and intelligence. We are not creating truth, we are discovering pieces of it. Knowledge is not the same as wisdom. One of the greatest misconceptions of our age is believing that more information automatically makes us wiser. It doesn't. AI can process enormous amounts of information. It can recognize patterns that humans might miss. It can retrieve knowledge almost instantly. But knowledge and wisdom are not the same thing. Wisdom asks, is it true? Is it good? Does it help people flourish? Does it honor human dignity? Those are questions no machine can fully answer. They are questions of conscience, character, and ultimately, the human soul. We were made to create. The very first thing the Bible tells us about God is that He creates. And because we are made in His image, we create too. We write books, we compose music, we build hospitals, we develop medicines, we invent technologies. The desire to create is not something we need to apologize for. It is part of being human. The real question is not whether we should build. The real question is what we are building, who it serves, and why. The story of the Tower of Babel has always fascinated me. The problem wasn't the tower, the problem was the motive. Thousands of years later, that temptation hasn't changed. Whether we're building companies, technologies, platforms, or artificial intelligence systems, the same question remains. Are we building to serve, or are we building simply to be admired? Technology without humility eventually becomes a monument to itself. The heart behind the tool matters most. A hammer can build a home or become a weapon. The tool isn't the issue, the heart behind it is. The same is true for AI. It can help a physician detect disease earlier. It can help researchers discover treatments faster. It can help patients understand complex medical information. But like every powerful tool, it can also be misused. That is why I believe the future of AI isn't merely a technology problem. It's a character problem. The quality of our tools will never exceed the quality of the people guiding them. Human beings are more than data. As exciting as technology is, We must never forget something essential. People are not data points. People are not algorithms. People are not statistics. They are human beings made in the image of God. AI may help interpret a scan. It may summarize a chart. It may assist with decision making, but it cannot replace compassion. It cannot sit beside someone who is grieving. It cannot pray with a frightened patient. It cannot love. And love remains one of the most powerful healing forces God has ever given us. We need community more than ever. One lesson Scripture teaches repeatedly is that wisdom grows in community. No single person sees everything clearly. No inventor, no engineer, no physician, no entrepreneur, no AI developer. We need one another. We need different perspectives. We need accountability. We need humility. The most dangerous innovations in history have often emerged when people stopped listening to others and became convinced they alone knew best. I don't believe we should fear technology. I also don't believe we should worship it. Technology is a tool, a powerful one. But tools have always revealed something about the hands that hold them. The Bible does not give us a blueprint for artificial intelligence. What it gives us is something far more important, and wisdom reminds us that every innovation ultimately raises the same timeless questions. Will this help people? Will this honor human dignity? Will this bring healing? Will this bring us closer to truth? If we can answer those questions well, perhaps faith and technology are not opponents at all. Perhaps they are companions on the same journey, helping us discover, in new ways, the wonder of being human. I find myself returning to a simple truth. Technology is not the destination. People are. For more than 16 years, I have walked beside my husband through a medical journey that remains largely unexplained. We have sat in waiting rooms, collected stacks of records, listened to specialists, searched for answers, and experienced firsthand how overwhelming healthcare can become when information is scattered and understanding is difficult to find. That journey changed me. It taught me that patients do not simply need more data. They need clarity. They need understanding. They need compassion. They need someone or something to help them make sense of what is happening to their own bodies. That is why I built Aira. The name Aira is deeply personal to me. It is inspired by the word air, the breath that sustains every human life, the first gift we receive when we enter this world, and the last thing we release when we leave it. But Aira also represents guidance, a companion, a quiet presence that helps illuminate the path when the way forward feels uncertain. Aira was never created to replace physicians, nurses, caregivers, or human relationships. It was created to support them, to help patients better understand their medical records, to help families ask better questions, to help people become more informed participants in their own care, and perhaps, in some small way, to reduce the loneliness that often accompanies illness. The more I study both scripture and artificial intelligence, the more convinced I become that the most important question is not whether we can build powerful technology. The question is whether we can build it wisely, whether we can build it humbly, whether we can build it justly, whether we can build it in service of human dignity rather than human ambition. The Bible may never mention artificial intelligence, but it speaks constantly about wisdom, about stewardship, about truth, about community, about compassion, and perhaps those are the very things we need most as we enter this new chapter of human history. The future will be shaped by the tools we create, but even more importantly, it will be shaped by the people who create them. May we be humble enough to listen, wise enough to discern, courageous enough to serve, and grounded enough to remember that every innovation is ultimately about human beings made in the image of God. Because at the end of the day, every chart belongs to a person. Every diagnosis belongs to a story, every patient belongs to a family, and every life carries immeasurable worth. My name is Maria Gregory. I built Aira because I believe understanding is a form of care, and because no patient should have to walk their healthcare journey alone. Until every patient understands,